Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna try to trap some Steel-type Pokemon here in the Open Ultra League, and we're going to run today Shadow Granbull. Shadow Granbull not with Charm, but with Snarl. This is something that I used to play back in the day, like Season 3, Season 4, quite a lot in the Ultra League before XL Candies were a thing, and now I'm kinda back with it because I built my Shadow variant of this Pokemon. I literally just built this one, didn't have it before, but you can see already why I kinda want to build this one. Boom, goodbye Snorlax here, and we can even go and get some damage onto the Charizard as well here. Granbull can go for a crunch, and we will now get out the opponent's Walrein, allowing us to farm them down here kinda with our Aromatisse. Yes, Aromatisse, because why not? I kinda want to have like some kind of charmer on the back that we can basically feed by getting out the answers like Registeel with our Granbull. So Aromatisse is just a decent charmer that I had around. Like, I could have also used anything else to be fair, but I kinda want to use Aromatisse, and honestly Aromatisse was fun. There were quite a few times where the move Thunderbolt really came in clutch, especially against opponents' Charizards, which happened actually quite often. So honestly, while Granbull was cool, I really liked Aromatisse. So this Pokemon is definitely something very cool, but of course you need to have it needy fully XL. Actually, you need to have it fully XL. Mine would still take 2 power-ups here, but yeah, of course, that would put it over 2500. Like, if you have different IVs than I have here, you would have even like a level 51 or whatever would even work out. Here we're going to be able to A, knock out the Scrafty of the opponent, but also B, retaliate here with our Aromatisse and get a shield from the Ampharos, which is amazing. Aromatisse has some very nice bulk, as you can see here. One of the bulkiest charm users for the Ultra League, which is really nice. I think it's pretty much the same as Clefable, to be fair. But still, very nice here. We can let the move go through from the opponent's Ampharos here as well, as we're going to get a Brutal Swing here, but as you're going to see here right now, the opponent going to have a Trevenant here. They're going to shield up the first move, and we have our Granbull. And Granbull has Snarl, and Granbull has Crunch. As you're going to see here right now, the Seed Bomb is going to get shielded, and we're going to get the Crunch off. And let's take a look how much damage it's going to do. Yeah, it just one-shots it. So yeah, if you are still not sure about Shadow Granbull with Snarl, you might be a little bit more towards it now. Yeah, we have a horrible lead, we have a horrible say-swap, you might say. Here it's actually where the Shadow variant can be a little bit tricky, because as you can see here, they're gonna put us pretty low. With the charge move Zapcan, you can of course shield it up. You win this all the time in the 2-shield scenario, like you literally always win this if you want to go for that one. Yeah, I wasn't really into that one, and I went ahead and just got either 1 shield and switch advantage, or 2 shields, which I'm actually going to get here. So we have 2 shields advantage right now. No, it's only 1 shield advantage, but it is still very nice for me, because 1 shield advantage with having a charm user on the back, you know already, this can definitely work out pretty well. We're of course going to swap out after I build up to another charge move here, as you're going to get out the Tapu Fini, and as said before, the Thunderbolt is a very cool move to use for this current meta. Of course, they're going to get the attack drop here, 10% chance, really annoying, because otherwise that would have one-shot them like this. We still have to farm them down, and we're still going to be able to win this game pretty easily here. So let's take a look at the next one. We're going to see a Pidgeot in the lead here. This is one of the leads that I hated the most. It's such a guessing game, I just really don't like it. You don't really have the best answers on this team for this Pokemon. They're all very neutral, but you can, I guess sometimes I completely wall this opponent, like this Pokemon. Sometimes they completely get wrecked by it. Here in this case, they're going to decide to go for the Brave Bird, which I actually shielded up, and then swap out, which is fine for us, because they're going to have the best answer for the Giratina. We have our Aromatisse. We stored back our Hydrocan on our Swampert, which is really important for us as well. But this Aromatisse will just be able to take all the charge moves from the opponent's Giratina, as well as we're going to be able to go for 1 charge move against the opponent's Cobalion here. Very smart of them to go into the Cobalion instead of their Pidgeot, because Pidgeot, of course, I wouldn't have liked the Thunderbolt. Like this, we're gonna go down here to 1 Stone Edge, but the opponent going to swap back into their Pidgeot, and Swampert is usually my biggest asset here, so might be worth it to keep this Pokemon around for a little bit. Not sure what I'm going to do here in this matchup, to be fair. Let's take a look at this one here. I should shield this move up. It's going to be a Feather Dance or what a call, but I'm not sure if this was the smartest idea that I ever had. I should shield this move up here as well. Why do I not do this? No, the opponent going to be able to just go ahead and farm me down. I have still 2 moves stored, but is the Galarian in range for 1 Hydro Cannon? I am not sure about it. Let's take a look at this one. It's going to be close, and it's going to be a win. Good game there. You might see my elo drop, by the way, during that time. I played this team, I think, during Go Battle days. Like I played like 50 battles with this team in general. Most of them during Go Battle Day. Thing is, what I did during Go Battle Day, which I do quite often during Go Battle Day, is I just go for 1 winner set, and afterwards I just go for 10 CP Pokemon and let them knock me out there. I don't really care too much. We're going to tank a little bit with that one. But that's like the easiest way to get Stardust during Go Battle Day. Just go for 1-4 because the first slot in the non-paid variant is the Stardust slot, and otherwise just lose the last 4 on purpose and you're going to get your games done a little bit faster. I'm not really in the mood, especially in the current time, to go for 100 games in 1 day, to be fair. It's going to have definitely some better times for Pokemon Go, but like right now it's kind of, yeah, you know, I don't have to talk about this too much, I think. We're going to see here a Granbull against us. Not really ideal. We can go ahead and go for an Hydro Cannon, but sadly they decide to shield this move up. And we're going to have our Aromatisse here. We're going to have more bulk than the opponent's Granbull, but we have to hope that they don't get the debuff here, and they do get the debuff, and this is basically game over. They can farm us all the way down here, and we're so low now. You can still go for 1 Thunderbolt though, and this Thunderbolt is going to do enough damage to knock out the opponent's Jellicent. And you see already why Aromatisse is actually a forgotten Charmer hero that has actually such a good coverage, because I don't think there is another Charmer that has Thunderbolt as a coverage, which really helps out in the current meta. There's so many flying types, so many water types. This Pokemon is so much fun to use. We're going to see here the next opponent with 1 War, and we can take 1 Icicle Spear, not really much more than this one, but we can still go ahead and go for 1 Close Combat, nearly knocking them out, shielding up 1, going for another fast move, and we're going to have another move stored, as well as we're going to be able to realign our Pokemon. In comes the Charizard, we can go ahead and go for the Crunch, gonna get them low with that one, very low indeed, and we can go back into our Swampert. They're going to swap into a Trevenant, and this is kind of hardware at this point of time. There's not a lot that I can do about this one. Trevenant is going to be a little bit tricky. At least we're going to still be able to take 1 charge move here, but I feel like this might not be the easiest game to still win here, especially as 1 Shadow Ball most likely going to do a ton of damage against me, and as you can see here, they're going to put me into range where sadly I cannot not farm down the opponent's Trevenant. I'm forced to throw a charge move here, which leaves me with not enough energy in order to knock out the Charizard as well with their 2 shields left, so not a lot that I can do here. Next opponent, very decent lead for us. Weezing, Galarian Weezing, a very good lead for us. We're going to see the Jellicent. Jellicent is like kind of everywhere. Don't really like it. Gonna go for the bait because I have so much energy here, but no, of course, the opponent decides to no shield. Next one, we're gonna go for the Earthquake, and this time around they also decide to no shield, and we can catch a move on our Waybook here, Aromatisse here. Does not do a lot of damage, as you can see here as well. And the opponent is forced to basically go into their Weezing, because Aromatisse is pretty bulky and Weezing usually doesn't run Sludge, but this time around Play Rough. You're still going to be able to survive at least 1 Play Rough, and the best thing is about this one as well, this is not a Play Rough, this is a Brutal Swing. We still survive it, we still get to the Psychic. And this is insanely important, as you can see here, so you're going to be able to get a shield from this one. We put them already with Charm just into the range for 1 Hydro Cannon, which is also amazing. And we will be able to now go ahead and go for the charge move, but they catch the move on a Swampert, which is totally okay for me. Like, Swampert is fine. Why not Swampert? We will be able to go ahead and go into a Granbull. Granbull is going to have a great time here as well, but we're going to shield up the move because I expect them to go for the Earthquake instead of the Hydro Cannon. Turns out they like Hydro Cannon a little bit more, I like Crunch a little bit more, and I like Crunch even more than anything else in this world. As we're going to see here, the Crunch going to knock out the opponent's Swampert, and we're going to see the Weezing coming back in here. Going for the Brutal Swing, this does not do enough damage, and they decide to forfeit. They know already there was nothing they can get there. Next opponent, horrible lead again. The Tapu Fini here is one of the Pokemon that I really don't want to face with this team as well, because, I mean, it's okay for our Charmer on the back, but here you're going to see already, of course, you're going to have to let this move go through. Why? But of course, my opponent decides, yeah, I'm just gonna go to my Steelix here. Steelix is fine. Steelix is totally okay. Yeah, that's totally right. No, Steelix is not right. Steelix has a Dragon type fast move. What do you want to do against my Charm user with that? Or like my Fairy type with that? We have a close combat, and we show that we have close combat, and we show even more that we have close combat. Our Granbull is just chunking away at the opponent's health here. We can go ahead and go into our Aromatisse. I'm going to shield up the first move here, expecting the Moonblast, and it's going to be the Moonblast. Coming in the Drapion here, we have a ton of energy still on our Swampert stored. Going for one Hydro Cannon here, we are not in range for one Crunch yet, and so we can let this move go through here. Going to not knock us out, doesn't even get the debuff here, which is amazing for us, as its next Hydro Cannon going to put them into range, where they're most likely going to have to shield up. Anyway, exactly, they're going to have to shield this up. I'm going to have to shield this up. It's going to be an Awkward Tail, but it's also going to be a Hydro Cannon, which going to nearly knock them out. So, we're going to see here that we're going to be able to go into our Aromatisse. Even a Sludge Bomb most likely doesn't knock me out from this range. They're going to decide to forfeit. Of course, they don't have Sludge Bomb if they're already shown the Awkward Tail and the Crunch. In comes here the Galvantula, and I play completely bad here. Why didn't I throw earlier? You should throw basically immediately when you get the Hydro Cannon for your Swampert in this matchup. But I didn't decide to do this for whatever reason. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter because they shield anyway, and they shield twice, and I have no idea why. I'm just going to go into my Granbull here. We're going to see the launch coming through. Okay, this is resisted, my friend. But we can still go for one Crunch here. And you see debuffed Crunch here. Still going to do a ton of damage against the opponent. Sadly, it's outside of range for Mudshot Farm Down, but it's inside of range for 2 Charms. And 2 Charms is going to be enough that, to knock them out here. So we're going to have now 2 shields advantage. Let's take a look at what they're going to have on the back here. We're going to see a Mandibuzz. Why do you go to Mandibuzz against my Aromatisse? I question your choice here. So they're most likely going to have something in the back that really doesn't want to see the Aromatisse. So at this point of time, I'm pretty sure that this game is kind of over, but why didn't you go into this Pokemon prior? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, why didn't you not go into the Jellicent before? I just don't understand sometimes my opponents, honestly. I'm sorry, I don't understand this play. Like, why didn't you not go into the Jellicent? Like, honestly, Jellicent would have been the better answer for the Aromatisse, like, for sure, like, by a far mile. But also, the Mandibuzz would have been the better counter for the Swampert. So, like, why like this? Like, where did this make any sense? I don't know. But yeah, we're going to see here the next opponent having a Lantern in the lead and bringing in a ground type, and I have no idea why I swapped out immediately out of my Swampert. It doesn't make sense. Don't question me please. It literally doesn't make sense. But yeah, I'm still going to have to play that one out, of course, and I'm still going to have my crunchy boy here, our Granbull, is going to be able to crunch through the opponents. In comes the Lantern, and also this one going to get hit by one big close combat here. Going to get them below half health. And we will be able to now go down from the surf, totally fine. We can farm up some extra energy here on our Swampert, and we're going to take this energy for the next matchup as well. As the opponent going to stay in here for a little bit, Hydro Cannon should be barely not enough, I think, to knock them out, but should put them into Mudshot range, and it's going to be fine. And interestingly enough, we're going to encounter here Gliscor on the back. So my opponent really does not like to see a Swampert, which is very good in our case because we're running it. But also we're going to be able to catch a Night Surge from the opponent here, which is very, very nice. I decided to no-shield here, expecting that they might want to bait me here. Turns out, nope, they don't want to bait me here, but I'm still going to have a lot of energy, but it's a little bit tricky because they still have a 1 HP Lantern in the back. Could have thrown here already, didn't throw there. I have way more energy than I need to throw my Hydro Cannon, but yeah, I waited for them to swap out here, and it definitely turned out pretty well for us at least. I thought that the Lantern still had a Surf Start, so I was not really able to throw my own Charge move first. I had to hope that they try to catch and throw the Charge move and the Mudshot damage go through, but yeah, that was basically my plan behind that one, but still it worked out anyway, so it's totally fine. We're going to see a Pidgeot here. Pidgeot, our friend, our savior. Let's take a look what they're going to do here. They're going to go for the Brave Bird immediately. That's kind of wild. wild. We can go for one more charge move here. Could have overthrown by quite more than this, but the opponent decides to use their shield anyway, which is going to be okay for us. Which is not okay for us is this Brave Bird going to do some pretty decent damage. Look at us, we're still hanging in here. We're still going to be able to take a charge move here. If it's going to be not the Stone Edge, it is going to be a Stone Edge, of course. How could they? But we're still going to be able to go back into our Swampert here. We have some energy stored and we're going to get the Tapu Fini out of here. Not ideal, but we have enough energy stored here that we should be able to get to 2 Earthquakes in time. And we're going to be able to get the basically the damage on them already, which is pretty decent. I can overcome by quite a bit with the Hydro Cannon. This Hydro Cannon coming through here as well, going to get the knockout onto the opponent. We can go for another one here as well, which will hopefully get the shield, and it does get the shield. And for the final move of today's video, of course, we're going to have the close combat of our Granbull destroying a Steel type as it should be. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe you learned something. If you did, please leave a like. Also on the screen there should be 2 other videos, so if you're interested in those, check them out. And otherwise, I see you tomorrow. Bye.